Gentleman in the second row, and then we move on to the gentleman in the first row. Yeah.
Rosie, I want to ask the obvious question. How cool was it to ride in that Mercedes car?
I remember when Michael showed me the car that I was going to have in this movie, and I literally did a fist pump in the air. That was the coolest car. Unfortunately, I didn't even have a driving license when I shot this movie, so I wasn't allowed to drive it. But you have the car now, right, Mike?
I bought the car.
And I keep telling him that he should give it to me.
And, yeah,
I'm still working on it,
She's getting really pushy.
Gentleman in the first row.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ingo from promiflash.de, and my question is, Transformers is a lot about the relationship between humans and machines. Do you have any anecdotes about your own struggles in private life with machines? Open question to all the crew.
Yeah, I'm getting out of this elevator, and I couldn't get in my door, and I was like, so I've been an hour trying to get in my room. I couldn't figure out this German door system. So, it's computerized, that's just driving me nuts. What about you, John?
No, I generally don't have trouble. I used to have a bad habit. When I was ironing clothes, of testing it on my face to see if which I don't think is so wise. But now I don't do it anymore. Sorry.
Lorenzo, this is a question to you. Imagine if I were the mayor of Chicago, how would you convince me to shut down 12 blocks? I'm over here, all the way to the right.
It was one of the great surprises for us. I think, you know, when we first, Michael first suggested Chicago because it has such wide boulevards and it would create a sense of scale to the movie that we didn't have before. And we went to Mayor Daley and suggested that we would like to come to Chicago. And he beyond embraced us, and it was actually one of the great experiences for us. The city and the movie became sort of partners, I'd have to say. And but the thing that really got all of us was when Michael first came up with the idea of the jumpers. You know, we thought the studio was going to say no. They said yes. We thought the insurance company was going to say no. They said yes. Then we thought the Chicago would say no, and they said yes. And then we found out we had to go to the FAA, Federal Aviation Authority in the United States. And they said yes, so I guess there's a lot of Transformers fans out there.
Thank you.
Very persuasive, Lorenzo.
The lady all the way in the back with the blonde hair on the right-hand side. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anja Bauer. I'm working for one of the biggest television companies, Pro7. And my question for you, especially Mr. LaBeouf and Mr. Dempsey, it's a powerful action movie, and in your middle there's a beautiful woman. How important is a beautiful woman for an action movie like Transformers, and why? Especially why it's so important?
Patrick?
Thank you so much. I think she's great in the movie. She's so so charming and wonderful and fresh, and it's really important to, I think, in such a masculine film, to root it with some sense of emotion. So symbolically, I think that's very important to see that and feel that. And Rosie was great to work with. Just we were all amazed about the heels, by the way, too. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was always carrying her around pretty much, pushing her around. But it was. I think it's really important. I think it's the emotional core to the piece, and it's just very, very important for the love story. I think Shia can take it from here.
Of course she's beautiful, but it's important to be an actress. I mean, that's the most important thing, really, especially when we're trying to inject heart into this movie, which is the one thing we were lacking from the second film. And Rosie is as good as any actress I've ever worked with. This being her first film at this level is pretty extraordinary. And I think more so than her being beautiful, which is obvious. I think the big surprise for all of us was that she was completely at ease when she came to set, though she didn't, you know, maybe she didn't feel that way. She showed complete ease and poise, which was very helpful for all of us, and was sort of the mascot. She was so at ease that she could take herself away from just the realities of making the movie and also be a support system for all of us, which was needed as well.
I have one more heel story. When they're doing the final kiss, Rosie goes, Michael, would you like me to take off my heels because Shia's much shorter? And I said, no, in fact, keep them on because it will give men hope.
Thank you, Michael.
Lady over here on the right-hand side, and then we move on to the first row.
My name is Frauke Guss from Radio Berlin. It's a question to Mr. Bay. Why did you decide to give this time body fluids to the robots? The Autobots have blood.
There was body fluids in the second one as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And all these things coming out of the mouth also?
And the first one as well.
First one too.
Really?
Yeah.
So why do they have that?
Well, they are an alien species, and they are very complex in many ways. It's eons and eons of light years away, and I don't actually know. No, honestly, visually it just added something. It's something you wouldn't expect, so it's just something, you know.
Cars have fluids. So there.
The lady in the first row.
That's funny.
Right here. Lady in the first row.
Hi, my name is Azam. I'm from Berlin. I work for Bild.de. I have two questions, if I may, Stephen. Yeah. I was wondering, how does it feel as an actor to see yourself on a big screen in 3D? Like, does that freak you out? How does it feel to see your face in 3D? And Tyrese, I have a question for you. I first saw you in a very nice commercial years ago, then as a singer, and you made this huge career as an actor. You just wrote a book. How do you manage all of that, and is there a new album coming out?
Let's
Many
start
questions
with,
at once, I'm sorry.
Let's start with Tyrese and then
with
move on, so the others have time to think about the answer.
I have no idea why I get so nervous when these questions go. You know, to be honest, my mother told me when I was a little kid that she knew I was blessed with a lot of different gifts and talents. And if I were to dump everything on the world at one time, it would be just a little overwhelming. So I guess for me, I've been just trying to figure out the right timing to do one thing at a time, you know. And I don't know, I just show up and try to be the best version of me I can while keeping everybody happy as I can. That's all. It's coming 11/1/11. The album is called Open Invitation. I just finished 2 weeks ago.
You'll also be DJing the party tonight.
No hip hop though. No hip hop.
I put a limit on it though.
Michael Bay banned hip hop.
So the 3D question to Shia and Patrick and Rosie and Josh and
3D is not the best thing for Jews. You know what I'm saying? It's very, you know, my.
But you need to say you're.
I mean, for me, I'm saying, the beauty of 3D, for instance, is the same thing that John said. Visually, it's tough to deal with, personally. My nose seems far bigger in 3D. Yeah, it's the same thing as watching 2D, really. For an actor, I feel like.
I haven't seen it in 3D yet. I see it when I go to New York 2 days from now. And I've heard that it's unbelievably cool. Michael talked on it a little bit the other night about how the difference between what we normally see in 3D. For me, I'm not usually a big fan of it because I can't focus on, I don't know what to focus on, the foreground, the background, where it's at, and I end up with a headache. But from what I hear, that this is very easy on the eye.
Well, you get a headache from bad 3D. It's we spent a long time. You focus on this nameplate on a regular 2D movie. 3D, you can look behind the screen, in front of the screen, and your eye, you get a headache when your eye does that. So we spent 6 months going shot by shot by shot, so it goes very smooth. Thus, no headache.
Michael, one more question about the 3D. I heard that he shot 60 or 70% of the movie in 3D, and the rest of the 40 or 30% on film. Why and why was it important for you to?
Well, certain things, you know, we were able to do like strap 3D cameras to the helmet of one of the divers going behind the guys, small cameras, but Digitally, I just don't like close face shots, so we post-converted those. We post-converted about 30%, and the rest were full 3D CGI, all CGI shots. But we did post-conversion different than most movies. Most movies, they do it very quickly, like 8 weeks right after they've done post. We actually spent a year where we give every layer. It's kind of boring, but you can't really distinguish from shot native to post-converted. At least Jim Cameron sitting next to me couldn't.
Lorenzo, when we look at the schedule of where you filmed the finished movie and it was shot in 3D, what did it mean to you as a producer in organizing the whole shoot and prepping it?
Well, I have a great partner in Ian Bryce, who's not here today, and you know, it's like a huge train that you got to keep running at all times, and it's an amazing. Working on a Michael Bay movie is one of the most exciting things you can do because it's like it's a narcotic, it's a rush. You know, you have to stay with the program and keep it going. And it actually makes it easier in many ways because working on some movies when you're sitting around the set, you just want to die how slow they go. And every time I leave a Michael movie and I go do another movie, I think I drive the director crazy because I keep saying, God, you know, we go a lot faster than this.
This is true. This is very true.
Thank you, Josh.